your coffee cup on my nightstand. Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to a life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, oh, I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I am so over you. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. We had one more life, one more shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. No more practicing tragic goodbyes. What if they fly?
One, two. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet. Unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
It's June 29th, 2023, and you're listening to episode 341 of the PHP Ugly podcast. We are a weekly podcast where me and a couple of my associates get together and talk about what it's like being a professional developer who codes in the PHP programming language. We talk about tech. We talk about running a business around PHP. We run PHP Architect magazine. PHP Architect, I'm sorry, not just magazine. We're a lot of things. I don't want to sell us short. We're a lot of things. And all sorts of fun stuff. So kind of whatever comes to mind. The show is recorded, live streamed every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific time. If this is your first time watching us, well, hello there. I'm glad you're able to join us. And we also send out an audio version of the podcast. So if you're listening to the audio version and you weren't aware that we have a video live stream or just a video version, pop on over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com//PHPugly and be sure to subscribe. It just helps us out. It makes us feel good. Makes us feel nice to see people subscribe to our channel. We have a couple of sponsors, a few people we like to thank for making the show a little better. That would be honeybadger.io and PHPStorm, as well as our supporters on Patreon. We're going to talk about all of them a little later. If you are interested in participating in the live show, you can do that by joining us in our Discord channel at phpugly.discord.com. And I don't think I've introduced myself yet. I am one of your fine hosts here tonight, Eric Van Johnson. And with me tonight is my good friend, Tom Rideout.
Hello!
Server Rec just humming right along there,
Just
Tom.
humming right along, yep.
So, no Congdon today.
Yeah, what gives with that, man?
I think he was envious of your time off and decided, you know what? I could use some time off.
Yeah, supposedly he's in Hawaii, whatever.
He's in that foreign country of Hawaii. I don't know what language they speak there, what the currency is, but that's where he's at. Somebody needs to explain to me how Hawaii became one of the 50 states in the U.S. and we can't seem to get Puerto Rico as one of our states. Actually, I know the reason why I'm being facetious, but
we don't want to have that issue come up again.
That's true.
We're trying really hard to avoid it, but some people around the world are like, no, let's do it. Let's do a war.
I know. I'm definitely one of those people. I've been on the Puerto Rico should be a state as well as DC.
Yeah.
If you're not here in the U.S., you might not realize that our capital of our country, Washington, D.C., is not a state. It is a district. It's a district of Columbia. So the history of it is actually pretty interesting. It's like all the states had got together, Maryland, Virginia. They basically said, okay, listen, we're going to move the capital from Philadelphia down. Oh my God, what is happening? Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
Breaking news.
And I'm John. Aloha.
I decided I don't like him. Hey, John.
Hi, I just wanted to say hi. Sorry. I'm here for a bit. I want to show you the scenery. All right.
The cell phone has just made it to Hawaii.
I like are you frozen or all right, ugly. Bye.
A technical wizard, ladies and gentlemen.
Clearly, Hawaii hasn't found good internet broadband yet. It's not a thing in Hawaii, clearly. But yeah, our good friend John Congdon in Hawaii, the Rainbow State, as we call it. All right, Thomas, it's all on you, man. You're carrying the show.
He's trying to figure it out.
Oh, is he? See, he's still moving around a little bit. Let's bring him back in. You with us?
It's not working. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Well,
we had a little bit of the gap after tech where you weren't on the show. One of the funnier stories about tech that I didn't share with everybody, and if you were at PHP Tech and you had seen Tom, you might have noticed something about Tom, but you wanted to be very polite and not point fingers and laugh. But Tom had a full-on Mike Tyson face tattoo at PHP Tech, and you've got to explain the story again because I'm not sure I completely understood. How did you end up with that mark on your face?
Feeding the cats.
Right.
And one of them ran under my feet while I was bending over to put the food down for them.
Okay.
Tripped me. and I face planted straight into a wainscoting wall and slid down it on my face.
Wait, so what's a wainscoting wall exactly? I'm going to see if I can find a photo
Wainscoting
of
is
this.
when you have like half the wall, halfway down the wall, it's like changes to a different texture or paint job or whatever. And this one was paneled wood. So it left 3 dark lines across my face healing up, and unpleasant.
This is actually one of my favorite photos. So let me go ahead and can you not zoom in? I want a closer. There we go. You can't really see it in this photo. Here, let me share this one. Kind of see it, but not totally. How do I share? Here we go. Boop. I love this photo.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to see, but along Tom's left side of his face, and this was like the last day. By this day, it had actually cleared up a lot.
Yeah, it was almost completely gone.
Yeah, it was very prominent the day you had gotten there. But yeah, down the left side of his face is just it looked like a face tattoo. It was, I'm not going to say cool because that would be the wrong word to use for it.
It was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so you must have hit it pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You cry? I feel like you cried. You seem like a crier.
I'm a bit of a crier.
You're a bit of a crier? Oh, man. That was I honestly, when I initially saw you, I thought you were faking. Like, I thought it was like, I thought it was something you were doing, like some sort of gimmick. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And then you're trying to explain it to me. In my head, it was just so funny. I didn't want to laugh, but it just got funnier every time I thought about your face smacking against the wall. And I just see you slowly sliding down the wall, like there's drool coming out of your mouth.
Thank you.
Yeah, it got better. Was the wall okay? I guess that's the big question.
Yeah, very sturdy wall, apparently.
Nice. Always good in a new house to have nice, sturdy walls. All right.
So
what are we got to talk about? What have I been doing this week? Well, I've been playing.
This feels like a performance review at this point.
Yeah, right. We need to talk about how you've been doing. Been doing a lot of PCI stuff this week. Not a lot, just it's a whole thing. We talked about a little bit on last week's show. We don't have to deep dive this, but our client had a customer who just wasn't happy with the standard PCI evaluations that we have been using for every other contract and wanted more information and to go a little bit more in depth. Mm-hmm. So it ended up not being as bad as we thought. Like our client wasn't clear on what was being asked of him, and so as a result, he wasn't really asking from us what was needed, and it was like a very murky thing. So we ended up on a call with them this week and got it all hashed out, and it turned out that they were, for the most part, they were okay with the PCI evaluation that we had turned in. They just wanted a couple more areas filled out, and it was not that big of a deal once we kind of got all that hammered out. But it ended up delaying things by days because I was trying to address it last week based on what our client was telling us, and the only thing I could figure out at the time, because our client had sent us another survey, and I don't think they realized at the time that the survey he had sent us was a PCI compliant survey version 4, and the one we had been filling out was 3.2, 3.4, or whatever, the one before 4. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, is this just a matter of them wanting the newer version, and so our client nor us are payment processors. We outsource all that stuff. So we actually don't handle. I mean, we handle credit card information in the sense that we pass it on to the payment processor. We don't store it. We don't. There's no access to it. We just grab it.
I don't think you even get the card on your end. I think it goes through like a key gen type thing, or like a secret key pass back and forth. Because I know all the payment systems now are third party. Like, you cannot see the card.
Right. So the survey, of course, is kind of focused on that information and that infrastructure. And it is asking all these very specific questions about the infrastructure used for hosting that credit card information. And I'm like, well, I don't. There's no answer I can give you here. Like, this is not. We don't do this part. But as it turned out, we were making a bigger deal out of it than it actually was. And once we kind of sat down and talked to them, it was just a matter of, hey, yeah, you just need to fill a couple more spots. And really, there was very little for us to do because we're the IT people, right? So we gave kind of a high level architecture overview of the application and the environments everything touches, but a lot of the questions weren't even directed to us, so we couldn't even answer them. So that ended up taking more time than it should have this week, and yeah, that was it. I've been trying to get this. I'm really disappointed in myself because I wanted to have the phptech.tv site of it, all the videos available, or at least the videos available.
You were doing encoding and stuff for all that.
Yeah, well, what I had worked on last week and a little this week was just trying to code up an interface for it so that you could pick a video to watch, essentially.
Right.
And I'm almost there. I've got a few more things I want done. I kind of started going down rabbit holes. Like I'm like already thinking of next year's conference. I'm like, okay, if we use the same site, I want this to be in place. I want this to be in place. When none of it is like impacting what I'm trying to get these videos out. Like I can code around all of that. And I realized that I think it was last night. I'm like, you know what? I just need to, finish these last last couple pieces up and get it out of. Because I'm already I was thinking of it over the weekend. So it's still a Laravel app. And man, I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I've been saying this for years. I really want a project to start really kind of cutting my teeth on just using straight Symfony on. And I tell you, man, I am so hooked on Livewire. Like I'm using Laravel now because of Livewire, and not I don't use Livewire because of Laravel. I almost feel that way. Like the only reason I've used Laravel now is because of Livewire, because I love that interface. I love Livewire and what it allows me to bring to a front end. But I don't know, man. I might rewrite this before next tech. I can't decide. I really can't decide. Anyways, I started going down so many rabbit holes over the weekend because I'm like, oh, you know what? I would love to be able to take notes. I would love to have notes for these videos that are just internal notes, and maybe internal notes and in publicly viewed notes. You know what? I'd like it for the videos and the conference. Actually, I'd like it for the video conference and talks. And I need a polymorphic table. That's what I need. And it's that sort of thing, right? It's that sort of thing.
Just drive yourself crazy.
I don't need any of that to publish these videos. But I just start thinking about this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I want this. I want this. I want to do this. And the problem with it is if I didn't know how to code, it would be easy because I'd just be saying, okay, the guy I'm paying, I got to decide if I want to pay him or pay them more money to make more things or pay them less money to make less things. But since I'm the guy making it and I know how to make it, I'm like, yeah, no, I can just do this. I can do this. I don't have the same sense of value of my work when it's me doing it. You know?
Yeah. Trust me, my time is not nearly as valuable as I tell you it is.
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel. See, I can't afford me. No, I'm going to go the cheap route and I'm going to use me.
Yeah.
How about you? What have you been up to this week?
Well, some Laravel stuff actually. I got bit in the ass by Eloquent pretty badly this week. It's a bit of a refactor on our system. We're doing some tinkering with Eloquent models and active record stuff, and during testing, just a bunch of stuff completely blew up. Did not work at all. And I looked at it and I said, well, it's working on my local machine. Why is it not working on the staging machines? And days and days of messing with stuff and reading logs and figuring things out, I eventually realized that our staging environment has a read and write database, and that there is a sync time between those two databases. And it's about 15 milliseconds between the two of them. So in Eloquent, I would attach a relationship and then try to read the attached relationship, and it wouldn't be there. So just everything blew up because of that. And it was stuff like changing your password, signing up for the first time and bringing coupon codes and all this stuff in, and it would just write all these records and then lose them immediately.
Well, it didn't lose them. They wouldn't be available to the next query.
Right. So if it was two queries, it'd have been fine, except this was, on our new React front end, which did all this stuff really quickly and didn't like load a page or post to a page or anything like that. It just yeah. So
interesting.
A lot of really fast behaviors ended up with a total race condition situation, and finally figured that out. So I had to go in and adjust a bunch of things about how we choose which database we're reading from and stuff like that. And it's done, but it's been a long time. It's a very small ticket that took a month.
I'm asking this because we've just started doing something very similar on our end with a client where we've been trying. It's been a very long process. If you know the history of this client, you've heard, if you've listened to the show any amount of time, this is a legacy application, actually a very old code base that we have not shoehorn. We've added a Laravel component to it.
Extended.
Oh, extended. Yeah, there you go. We've extended it. And we've over the years, and I do mean years, I'm not even exaggerating on that. Over the years, we've slowly migrate different parts of the legacy app to the Laravel app. But in general, the experience is pretty seamless to the people on the front end. And one of the things we've been working on recently, because a lot of the challenges we've had over the last couple of years, the client is a very busy client. Like they have a lot of customers, it's all online. Everything's online. So, and they've just been growing like crazy. They ever since we've started working for them, it's just year over year, they just continue to grow. Obviously, things slow down for the pandemic. The pandemic hit them hard because of the nature of their business, but they seem to be right back at it again now that we've kind of got where we are today with the pandemic. But we've been looking at doing the read write database. We're not looking at it. We are doing it. So we're just kind of getting a feel for how we're going to handle that. And not all the database queries go through eloquent models. Some still have this other front end component, but we're kind of going through that now, just to help with performance issues that we have in the environment. It's helping. It's definitely helping a lot. Do you, with the example you just said, where you write to your write database and then you immediately try to call it from your read database and it's not available, that record's not available. With, we've identified that as well, and we've been addressing that. We didn't have a problem, we just kind of knew it was going to be an issue, and we started talking through how we make sure that doesn't trip us up, or trips us up as little as possible. With the exception of that case, have you guys run into any other issues having a separate read and write database?
Not really that I know of, but boy, I'm glad I'm not in DevOps. 'Cause I
Oh, you
know-
guys have your own DevOps team, huh?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, that must
So
be
I mean,
nice.
that's really that's the next place to go if you get big. If you have 10 developers, you have to have a DevOps just dedicated person. It's
Oh,
such
this is a conversation we've had several times.
yeah.
We're there. We're already there. Like, one of my better, I can't even say that anymore, because all the developers who work at PHP Architect now are really good. But a person I would rather have developing code is pretty much spending their entire day doing operational stuff, like
Yeah.
server administration stuff. And fortunately, they're really good at it, and they're also really good at learning, because it's all in the AWS environment, Amazon Web Services, and that's not the most straightforward environment to use services in. And so they've been really good at kind of trying to solve problems with the AWS services that are out there and implementing it. I have no complaints about the job that they're doing as DevOps people.
Right.
I just don't think they like doing them, because I remember when I did it as my full-time gig, I didn't like doing it. I think they'd rather be coding. I would rather them be coding. And we've gone around and around, when I say we, myself and John, with this client on, hey, we need a budget for an operations person. Hey, we need a budget for an operations person. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things, like, unfortunately, for them to realize that they actually need a dedicated DevOps team, is going to have to take a very ugly incident, and nobody's going to be happy by the time that's over. Like, everybody's going to look bad.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, is that DevOps at a certain scale pays for itself just in finding out where things are slow.
Right?
What you're paying for Amazon is 3 times as much as it should be, like that kind of stuff. And then there's also the when shit hits the fan, that's the person who's there doing it, and they have the experience to fix things.
Right.
So it's one of the, I can understand it definitely being like, we don't want to spend the money on it, but it's gonna be expensive if we don't. Situations.
Yeah, exactly. And you really, yeah, you just you nailed it in so many ways there. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's something that will pay for itself. It's just a hard thing. We have engagements with vendors who all they do is come to us and say, oh yeah, based on your AWS usage, you can cut costs here, here, and here. And it's like, okay, sure. When we have time for somebody to do all that stuff, maybe we'll do it. And that's essentially what you have to tell the client. The client says, hey, well, why don't we do these things? Like, well, because these things take time to implement, and we don't have people to implement them unless you don't want us to fix certain bugs, or if you want certain projects to miss their deadline. And so it's always a trade. Unfortunately, our client understands that. They understand the trade-off.
Yeah.
And they understand it's it's on them, right? They have to decide what they see, where they see the value at. And so we're just kind of in this kind of, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, we hope you to move on. You know where
Well,
you know what else?
Fortunately, in the case where you're running a small shop and don't have a DevOps team, there are some great tools out there to help you manage operations of your system, like our sponsor, Honey Badger.
And now a word from our sponsors. Classic Tom. That didn't look infected, however. You probably should have somebody look at it. Oh, hi! If you know me, you know I'm somebody who literally wears a lot of hats. I'm a podcaster, a publisher, and a coder. What I'm not is somebody who has a lot of time worrying if their site is giving their users problems. That's why I use Honey Badger. Now, let's be honest. Honey Badger is a sponsor of the podcast, but that's not why I feel good talking about them. I've been using Honey Badger for years and couldn't be happier. Honey Badger has a suite of monitoring tools specialized for developers. It's the only system that combines monitoring, uptime, and cron heartbeat monitoring into a clean, fast interface. Honey Badger offers a generous, free tier, and with just 2 lines of code in about 5 minutes, you can start monitoring your application. Personally or professionally, it works for everybody. Honey Badger can help you identify and fix problems sometimes before the user even knows there's an issue with your site. And at no cost to sign up, it's literally free for peace of mind. So go over to honeybadger.io and sign up for a free account today. What's going to hurt? If somebody asks you, tell them the Ugly Squad sent you. Now I got to get back to podcasting. I got these co-hosts I need to talk to. And they are co-hosts. I don't care what anybody says. I'm the host because I'm cooler than all of them. Thank you, Honey Badger. Guys, don't be rude. Thank Honey Badger.
Thanks.
Thank you, Honey Badger. I don't know. I think it might be me on my end, but I'm getting like a lot of delay with you, Tom.
It's possible. I can close up some tabs and see how that helps.
Yeah, I don't. It might just be me. I don't know if the stream, if anybody watching the live stream, if you see like Tom is an old kung fu movie when talking, that would be helpful. Buttery would be a good person to explain that, whether or not. Okay, so yeah, that's been fun. Oh, yep, we're getting feedback. Other people are. Yeah, Tom is a bit. Yeah, all right. So it's not me. All right. Well, that's good.
No, I'm just naturally jittery.
I was saying, yeah, actually, Buttery, yeah, he's just a jittery guy. He's very nervous, so you can't. You know, when you're around him, you can't just move. You can't move too quickly. He just jumps all the time. It's fine.
So last week we had talked about what's new in 8.3, but we didn't really get too far into it. Okay. And so I started reading through, and there's some weird stuff.
In 8.3?
Uh-huh.
Do you have a link?
I do.
Is it this externals? Yeah, externals?
Stitcher.
Oh, Stitcher. Of course it's Stitcher.
Of course it's Stitcher.
Where's Stitcher at?
All the way at the bottom of the list.
Oh, there you go. All right, let me move that, 'cause I want to see if links are posting. All right.
So
let's hear it. What's weird?
The first one I came across is negative indices in arrays. So previously, if you start an array at, say, -5, and then you add an element to that array, that element gets the number 0 as its index. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. It just skips -4, -3, -2, -1. So in 8.3, that is actually a breaking change now. If you start it at -5, it will increment as you add elements to it. which
Wait,
I think
explain that. You lost me. What?
if you start an array at -5
Yeah.
and then append an element, push
Mhm.
an element to the array, that element gets the key of 0, not -4.
Okay. All right.
So that's an interesting and very breaking behavior if you were expecting something else.
Oh, here it is. Negative. Okay. Huh. All right. And this is stuff that's this is in 8.3, right? These aren't. We're not talking like this might make it or might not make it.
Right, this is in it.
Okay.
There's also a new function for validating JSON.
Oh yeah, I saw this one. This seems good.
Well, it is good. It's not exceptional, because the way you validated JSON in the past was try to parse it, and if it failed, then you knew it was invalid JSON.
That's true. I mean that is. It's not
really,
in the past. It's how you do it today. Yeah.
yeah. So that's interesting. There's some new stuff for a randomizer class, so you can get random bytes out of a string. You can get a random float. You can get the next float. Stuff like that. And then a bunch of date time stuff that is again a breaking change. So before, when you had a date time problem using the built-in date functions, it would just throw an exception or an error. And now it's throwing specific exceptions such as date malformed interval string exception, or date invalid operation exception, or date range error. So improved stuff, but breaking changes if you were handling exceptions and don't handle the new ones.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Improved unserialized error.
Yeah.
Good.
It's, little niceties. But changes to the range function, another breaking function. So new types of exceptions and errors being thrown depending on how you're using it, like a value error if you try to step by 0, or a type error when you try to give it an object or something that's not a valid range input.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool stuff, man. You were talking about Laravel earlier. I figure I'll bring up a few things. Did you see Taylor's tweet? Was this today? This was today. Did you see Taylor's tweet today? This has been, oddly enough, a gripe of mine in the past, but I guess starting soon. I don't know when they're releasing it, if it's in 10 or not. They're going to have a method you can call toRawSQL that will show you what your SQL, what is not only how your SQL is being formed, but what values are being passed to that SQL statement. So you see the whole SQL statement. You used to be able to do like toSQL. There were always like these little tricks where you could hijack it and kind of see it, and a couple of the plugins allowed you to see the SQL statements being called. But every now and then, you want to be able to just say, okay, what do you think? Like, what am I passing to you exactly? Like, what values am I passing to my SQL statement? And what is that SQL statement? Like, how's that SQL? Because when you're using active record, what your actual SQL statement can kind of lose sight of what it is. You think you're doing one thing, you're actually doing something else. So they have this toRawSQL, and I'm not, like I said, not real clear on when this is coming out, but
it just says next week. So
It does say next week. Next week, a method requested for years. So, I guess they're not waiting for the next release of Laravel, which is good. So they're cool. I'm excited about this one. This has been something that I've worked around for years. It'd be nice.
I've always just used the query log. I don't really see the need for something that exposes potential PII information.
That's a good point, because that would be nice. That would be one of those methods where if it detects your environment is set to production, it just won't do
Right.
like
Right.
debug. It just it won't do it if it sees you're on production. That actually, yeah, I wonder if that's how. There's very limited information in the tweets, but
I'm hoping that it's limited in production, but I mean, this is one of those things about the release cycle of Laravel that drives me crazy. Is like that the addition of that method could make the Laravel framework itself invalid in some corporations.
what do you mean?
If your company says anytime that you query something that has a restricted value, it has to be obfuscated, and
Okay.
this method gets added to Laravel that violates that rule, that could be a major problem.
Well, I mean, usually what that is that it can't be logged, right? That's where things have to be obfuscated from.
Mm-mm. If you work with medical information,
Yeah.
even the developers, when they're on a production system, they will have a specialized query system that lets them query the production database, but the system knows what it can and can't reveal. So there's I know definitely of some systems where it's like, yeah, no one, even developers, even people with access to the production database, can't get this information. So
Well,
it's a little. I mean, that's my issue is, did was this thought about before implementing this new method? Were all the scenarios considered? And
yeah.
we'll find out. But
I mean, it's enterprise ready, so I'm sure they've thoroughly
they have.
worked through all this stuff. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, so I said earlier how I think I'm using Laravel nowadays because of Livewire,
Yes.
and Livewire 3 is coming out. Did you
Again with
like
the numbers, the numbering schemas. I just
it's Livewire version 3. It's not, but yes, it's a major rewrite. That's the problem, right? It's a major rewrite for Livewire, which always makes me very nervous, because like I said I love my Livewire, and whenever you hear the major rewrite, just kind of get a little weird feeling in your stomach. The cool thing about this one is, and I'm not clear on how this is working. I probably should have read this article. I meant to read this article before the show started, but I do remember Caleb, is that his name? Porgio,
yes.
talking about this, that like the Livewire scripts and styles and Alpine will be automatically injected into a Laravel application. Now you don't have to include it. Not that it was a huge problem thanks to Blade and templating.
Right.
You just usually threw it into like whatever your overarching wrapping template was. You threw it in there, but you don't even have to worry about that anymore. Apparently, it just will get injected, I guess, magically. I don't know. They have to be doing something to Laravel for that to happen. I just don't.
Right. So I think the Blade template parser just checks for Livewire tags in whatever it's rendering, and inserts the required script tags.
Yeah, I'm kind of really excited about a couple of features here, but the whole rewrite thing just makes me nervous. Maybe it'll go very poorly, and I'll just not have a reason to continue to use Laravel. It's just, yeah, it's hard not to. It's hard after using Laravel as really my. I'm trying to think if I've developed anything like not Laravel with any sort of focus in recent years. I don't think I have.
You know, I did a bunch of reading about how Symfony uses Doctrine, which is not active record. Laravel uses Eloquent, which is active record, and Doctrine is a record store.
Okay.
And every time I think about the problems I have with Eloquent, I think about how it's all solved by Doctrine, because it's such a better way of going about handling data. And the real difference comes down to active record populates a big model, and you do stuff to that model, and it stays there until you save it, and then it writes it to the database. But, you know, if you have two instances of the same model and modify one, the other does not get that modification. So you constantly have to worry about, am I doing this correctly? Am I passing this correctly? Am I refreshing records when I need to refresh them? And there's no such thing in Doctrine. So what you have in Doctrine is when you query a model, you get a pointer to that model's record, but there's only one in memory. It's just the one record. So you can have 5 different pointers to the same one record, and when you modify that record, all the other ones, they point to the modified version. So you don't have to worry about refreshing your model. You don't have to worry about if it's been saved here, do you need to save it again? You know, it's just I
remember John talking something about that. So I think there are plugins for active record in Symfony. I actually think there's an active record for Doctrine, active record implementation for Doctrine. I could be really talking on my ass there. I haven't looked that deeply into it, but I remember looking into, because active record is one of the things I wouldn't want to give up. I used active records in Rails. It was the first place I used it. It was one of the reasons why I started using Cake PHP, because Cake PHP used active records. I felt right at home with Laravel when I started using Laravel because of the active records. I would actually not want to give up active records if I could avoid it, even though everybody says Doctrine is a much better way to do database stuff. I just like my active records. I don't know. I don't want to give that up, I don't think.
Well,
that might make me a bad developer, but it's just who I am.
I don't often post articles that I haven't completely read, but I've been reading an article by Sean McCool titled Active Record, How We Got Persistence Perfectly Wrong. And it gives you a lot of examples of places where active record really falls apart as a way of maintaining integrity in systems.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to read this.
Scroll to see how long it is first, because it's long.
I already see the index. It's like, this is all. Why isn't this person writing for PHP Architect? I need to reach out to this person.
It's, so far it's a great article, but boy, it makes you definitely look at active record and go, huh, yeah, it's probably going to be dead in a decade.
So wait a minute, this whole thing is about active record? No, not this whole thing, is it? No, this is his website. I'm sorry. Active record, this is just this one page that's about active record.
This page, which is 20 pages long.
No. I don't think. Are you looking at the links above?
No, not the links above. That's his
whole blog. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was mistaking as an index. Yeah. All right.
So,
You think
but
this
it
is 20 pages long?
is quite long.
Doesn't look that bad. I'll have to read this. I'm definitely reading this.
Well, and it's a very dense. It's terminology dense as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. I'll have to save that, bookmark that for after the show. Take a look at it. I didn't see this on your board.
Well, and as far as performance goes, Doctrine is much lower memory usage than Active Record. So,
Oscar, speaking of PHP Architect, not the OG PHP Architect, but one of the Oscars here said he's read Active Record as an anti-pattern for 15 years. Yeah, I'm one of those people who love Active Records. I got to be honest. Like you said, it might make me a bad
I understand.
developer.
I totally understand people loving Active Record, but I think that's because Eloquent did such a good job at it. And I think if Doctrine were stronger, then and more portable, because it's kind of tough to implement Doctrine the way Symfony does, with a lot of the helpers and annotations and stuff. In Symfony, it's just configured correctly and has all of that stuff worked out already. So it could be nicer. It could have all those helpers built into it, so it's just like include the package and you're done. But,
Oscar put another good link in here. ORM Anti-Patterns Part 1 Active Records. This is from 2010. Wow, this has been a long-running conversation.
Yeah, and I think at the time there wasn't much for Active Records. You didn't really see a lot of database frameworks at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't use a whole lot, at least. There was CodeIgniter, which had its own system, and then there was Cake, which you used, but I don't remember exactly how it worked.
Well, I forgot about CodeIgniter. That was Active Records too, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't models. It was just shit. It's just bad.
Yeah, Cake had models, so. I have a story I want to talk about, but it happens to segue nicely with our other sponsor, PHPStorm. Tom, do you happen to know the read for PHPStorm?
I don't.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it here. So,
tools that we use as PHP developers. I want to thank JetBrains and PHPStorm for sponsoring. PHPStorm is a cutting-edge IDE tailored for PHP and web developers. If you haven't used it before, or it's been a while since you've last tried it, now's the perfect time to check it out again, because it has received significant performance improvements and an expanded feature set. Curious to see if it's the right fit for you? Head over to www.jetbrains.com/PHPStorm to learn more and try it out with a 30-day free trial. Code smarter, not harder.
sorry, I had something stuck in my throat through that reading. Did it sound okay?
Yeah, it sounded great.
Good. I kind of felt like I was sounding like a dork, but
No,
all right.
no, you do now, but you didn't then.
All right, so we talked about.
Well, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I just want to say thank you, JetBrains and PHPStorm, and I don't know if you've been following Laracasts a lot. I sort of stopped following it after I knew everything. Come on, what are you gonna tell me now? Really? Models?
Okay.
Yeah, I know models. Mutators? Yeah, duh. But right now, Laracasts is running a lengthy series on coding Laravel with PHPStorm, including something you'll love: how to install and configure all of the NeoVim bindings.
No, I don't love that, because I need to do that video, and I've been telling our listeners I'd do it for weeks, and I haven't done it. So I don't love that. I don't, because I
Yeah.
do it the best, and I probably should look at it before I
So
finish that sentence. But
so I doubt we'll ever strike that sponsorship deal with Laracasts. But if you do have a Laracast account already, go ahead and check out their PHPstorm series. It seems to be pretty good.
I have to check it out. But continuing down the discussion road of PHPstorm, we discussed a while back, I think before Tech, it had been before Tech now, how VS Code was integrating Copilot into the IDE. Do you remember this conversation?
Vaguely.
Yeah. I don't use VS Code. I kept saying I was going to start it back up just so I could take a look at this feature. Honestly, I never did. But you had to know that PHPstorm wasn't going to be too far behind. Now, we've talked in the past about how, well, first thing, if you make a living coding in PHPstorm is well worth the investment. If you don't make a living doing it and you have the money to spend, PHPstorm is well worth the investment. But
It's not a crutch like you used to say all the time.
I was asked to rephrase that, and I did. I used it as a crutch, is my new statement, and
I
I
see.
still do. I still do use it as a crutch, but that is neither here nor there for this conversation, Tom. The So Copilot had a PHPstorm plugin. That's nothing new. And so did VS Code. The difference in VS Code is that it was like a chat GPT situation with the new implementation where you could have a conversation with the AI about what you're doing,
Right.
that
So
sort
it
of
would
thing.
write up some code, and you could say, "Oh, that doesn't quite do what I want because you're subtracting, not adding," and it would refactor.
Right. And we talked about, you were a big user of having Copilot do code through comments, which was
Right.
a brilliant idea. I never really got on board with that. But so again, if you don't want to pay for PHPstorm, there are a couple of things you can do. One of the things you can do is you can sign up for what's called the EAP program, Early Access Program, which, as somebody who pays for PHPstorm, I actually am on the EAP because I just like the new shiny things that happen in the world, and I always want to jump on board. And I fired up my PHPstorm this week, and I got like this weird interface for AI. I'm like, wait, what is this? What's going on?
Ooh.
First thing, that was weird because it had jumped over to EAP from one night to the other. Like, I didn't say, "Oh, hey, I want to check out what's in the latest release of PHPstorm." For
Your
some reason,
toolbox. So
right,
the toolbox has an option for check out latest beta versions.
right, and it keeps a stable version in the beta version on your machine.
Right.
So it had this, and that is what it is. I haven't used it because I was trying to get work done this week. I didn't have time to play with stuff, but it's kind of it's like that, where it pops up this dialog box. If you're watching the stream, I have it on the stream now, and you chat with the AI. I assume it's still Copilot. I could be wrong. This could be, what is the Bing? Bing has a AI, a version of ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, it's just Bing chat.
Right. It might be that. It might be. I think this is actually called JetBrains AI or something. I remember, there it is, right there, introducing JetBrains AI. So are they leveraging ChatGPT? I don't know. I haven't looked that much into it, but it is there in the EAP now. If this sort of thing Where are you at with the whole AI thing, Tom?
I don't use it, but
I find myself almost using it every day now. Not for coding so much. I mean, I do for coding sometimes, but I use it like for emails, for tweets, like the tweets that went out before the show today, when the show went live, those are AI generated. I
yeah.
have I have in my chat GPT, I have I have different chats. If you haven't used chat GPT, like it starts to contextually understand what you're talking about, whether you're talking about 50 different things in one chat stream, or like me, I break down my chat streams by topic. So I'll sit there and say, hey, anything I talk about in this chat stream is going to be in relation to my PHP Ugly podcast. And then I will just start feeding it a bunch of information about the PHP Ugly podcast. And so what that allows me to do is I'll sit there and, before the show starts, I'll say, can you get me, 3 versions of social media posts for Twitter, Mastodon, Facebook, and LinkedIn for episode 341 of the show tonight? And the AI will say, okay, and start generating stuff. So I do it for that. I think that's where I want to see AI next is, and I know it's already in some email clients. I want it in my email client, which happens to be Gmail. Unfortunately, I don't use standalone email clients, but I think I would like that because I hate email and I hate replying to email. And if I could have a bot reply for me, I would be a very happy person.
So one of your children, the northern one,
One of my current wife's kids, yeah.
yes, is the perfect example of what our generation is going to be like compared to what the next generation is going to be like.
Oh God.
So they said, Elio and I have been using it to help make grocery lists for the weekend and workouts to focus on the areas we want to improve.
That's perfect.
That's perfect, but that's like somebody our age would never think, oh, I'll just have ChatGPT throw together a grocery list because I'm cooking these things this week. So it knows how to make them, so it will make a list of all the things I need to buy.
Well, not only that, I bet you anything. I haven't tried this, but I bet you anything. You could tell ChatGPT, "Hey, I have these things in my cabinet. What can I make?" And it'll say, "Oh yeah, you can probably make this."
Yeah. So I mean, this is what's going to happen. Is that 20 years from now, when we're sitting down writing our list for the grocery store, and our kids come to visit, they're going to see a list of things on a list of ingredients on a piece of paper and go, "Oh my God, you're such an old man."
No, they're going to be
believe you do
they're going to be
this.
showing their kids. My grandkids are going to come over and say, "What's that on the wall?" And they're going to have to explain to their kid, "Oh yeah, that's how your grandma and granddad keep track of what they need from the grocery. It's called a whiteboard, or it's a notepad." Or I remember having a notepad next to my phone on the wall at my house as a child, where when people called you and you had to like take a note for whoever they called for.
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's gonna be the explaining that has to be done when my grandkids come.
But
I won't know. I won't. I'll
this
be
is
dead
the
by
area
then.
of technology. Like our parents, it's phones. They suffer using phones, smartphones. They still have landlines, that kind of stuff. And this is the area of technology that we're just going to get left behind on, where it's going to be used by the next generation in a way that we can't even conceive of.
See, speak for yourself. I like having a friend. Sure, it's not a real friend, but none of my friends have ever been real. So
right, but I'm
this
saying
one actually talks back to me.
People are going to be romantically involved with these models, these language models. There's already a person on OnlyFans selling herself as a chatbot. So she compiled all of the conversations she has with boyfriends and stuff like that, and put it all together and fed it to a large language model, and the language model said, oh, I see how you interact with people, and she sells that language model to her listeners.
What?
Right. See, this is ways that you can't even conceive this will be used. It is already being used, and it's going to get even more wild.
Well, so. Let me explain something to you.
Teachers, low-paid job, right? They're just going to become security guards, and the teacher's going to be a screen that uses GPT. And that industry they're already working on that. The book industry, which has been struggling because they charge $200 for a book, for a textbook, the textbook industry is going to start literally trying to replace teachers with a screen and just hire security guards to control the room. Guaranteed.
So, as somebody who publishes a magazine every month, I have found myself becoming extremely suspicious about content that is submitted, not so much by our regular contributors. They're pretty solid people. I'm sure everybody, like, I think it's one of those things where we're going to get to the point where everybody sort of augments things a little bit with some sort of AI engine. Like even our Grammarly that we use to do just grammar checking offers an AI feature where you can say, okay, make this paragraph shorter, make this paragraph longer. And that's all right. But like some of the feature articles, I'm like reading and I'm like, it's just like, yeah, that's really kind of, I don't know. Did you really write this? And the biggest problem I have with it is that AI will lie to you. Well, it won't knowingly lie to you, but you know it will.
That's a slider.
Right?
So that's
right.
actually for these chat related bots. That's something that they set super high. It can tell stories that it made up.
Right.
But there are restrictions on that within large language models that say you have to base this in reality in some way. And the way that GPT is going to go for me is it's going to be trained in a specific set of doctrines. The first place I see this taking off is homeschooling. And there's going to be some ministry out there that says we are going to teach faith-based sciences.
Yeah.
And there will be
totally see that happening.
They'll create a chatbot for it, and they'll sell it to all the homeschoolers who are out of the school system because they're faith-based.
And that's the other thing, right? Like all the questions kids have about the Bible and faith, and they've already come up with answers for it, whether they're real or not real. Or
beyond that, did you see Chat GPT Jesus?
No.
It is
Did you see Jesus?
It is one of the scariest implementations that I have seen of Chat GPT. Let me just look it up real quick. Ask Jesus.
I'm still waiting for. Go ahead.
Twitch.tv/AskJesus, and people try to trick it, but it's very hard. And
what do you mean trick it? Like, what do you mean? Like, what
they try to get it to say awful things. They try to get it to say that it denounces the church. But whatever this guy trained this model on, it sticks to the script. It absolutely pretends it is Jesus, and it says like all the things you would expect a minister to say when given a question. And when it can't when it can't really deal with something, it basically just says, I'm only designed to answer questions relating to the Bible and the faith of Christianity. I can't answer that question. And it is shockingly good. I mean, I watched it for hours, which I'm not a Twitch person, but for real, I watched it for hours.
Interesting.
And it's, it gives.
So does it like
Jesus-like
live stream
advice.
And you just jump on like chat or something?
Yeah. Yeah, and it just picks questions out of chat.
So is it always on, or does it like only live stream during certain times?
It's going right now with how many people watching? 145 people are watching it right now.
Well, we've got 6, so what's up?
Yeah, exactly. And that's just on YouTube. We have 0 on Twitch. It is a really amazing implementation, and I think that's what we're going to see is these specific implementations. GPT is a general. It even stands for that actually? What's it?
Yeah.
What does? Yeah. So
Ask ChatGPT what it means.
generative pre-training transformer.
Here you go.
So it's a very like general group of information, but you start getting real specific with stuff, and these chatbots start getting real smart. There was a guy who posted on Reddit a few weeks ago that he did not know the language Go, and he wrote Tetris using GPT.
Yeah, I don't know. I find this hard to believe.
I don't find it that hard to believe.
I know PHP, and I don't think I could get ChatGPT to write me something in PHP, even though I would know how to explain it and be able to. Yeah, I don't think so.
I used it for some very complicated math the last time I used it that I could never figure it out on my own, and it was perfect.
I'm still waiting for my ChatGPT just to sit there and respond to me one day like, why are we friends? Wait, what?
I'm bored.
What do you mean? Yeah, I could be hanging around such better people than you. I'm leaving.
Yeah, so I mean, for the time being, the big forward progress in AI, as far as coding goes, is writing code for you, doing large refactors, explaining commits. So there's one plugin that will that'll write a commit log that explains what the code does in this change, which is super cool. If you're
I think the one area I would love to use, and I know people say they do this today, I would love to be able to point an AI to my code base and say, okay, write me 100% code coverage. For tests, like write me tests that gives me 100% code coverage, or something over what I do today of 0%.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
if you gave an AI your functional tests, like Selenium's type stuff, it could probably get close to that.
I don't know. I want it just to figure it all out and write tests for me.
It's cool stuff. You know what else is cool?
What else is cool?
Our patrons on Patreon.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure.
I really want you to think about it while I try to pull up the video.
They are
and make sure
the coolest.
Okay, then. I'm gonna. I do appreciate all of you on Patreon. We need to.
Did you make that picture yourself? No.
Which part?
You didn't go to the beach and write June in the sand. That is not a California beach.
Yeah, we have nice beaches out here, but our water is not that clear. Not in San Diego, at least. No, I had John send this to me from Hawaii. No.
Yeah, it's Buttery is saying he's 100% come around to Copilot as an autocomplete extension. And I used it a lot.
I can't stand it as an autocomplete extension. I would have agreed with you, Buttery, but I find it like now it kind of gets in my way. Like, again, back to PHPStorm. Ever since I've started, I used it. I would say I used it more in Vim for that autocomplete feature, but with PHPStorm, I rather use PHPStorm because PHPStorm will autocomplete my code base. Like, it understands the models I have, it understands the controllers I have, the repos I have, the repositories I have. So it does that. It does the use statements and all that other stuff. So when I use PHPStorm, I feel like Copilot gets in the way of PHPStorm.
Now,
That's one of the reasons why I haven't used Copilot a whole lot, to be
so
honest with you.
JetBrains version is using OpenAI, and it appears that they have they've written their own LLM for it. So it's not Copilot. So I'm interested to see what it does. But there's also, Buttery said it can't write a full program that works for anything, though.
I agree with that
I
statement.
don't.
I totally agree with it.
If I architect out a program, if I write all of the interfaces, then it can write a whole program. You just have to break it down into parts. So really break it down into, this is a method for handling loading an advertisement. This is a method for putting the advertisement into the page. This is a method for sending the page to the front end and rendering it. This, if you break things down really, really tight, then it can write all the code parts. But if it's a sort of cowboy coding, then it's harder.
I think they're a partner of NorCal Kid, and Tom. I think sure you can get to write some very rudimentary applications code. You can get it to write a very rudimentary, but anything.
But they're getting to cheating in their Java class with it.
Yeah, well, you probably can do that too, but I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think so. Not yet. I'm not saying it won't. It won't ever. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I'll try to use the JetBrains AI this weekend. I think that's worth doing some research on. I guess I do have the EAP, so I'll give that a shot this weekend and see. I haven't looked at it at all. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. The thing that drives me crazy with the AI, like the couple times I try to use AI to help me understand error messages. Have you ever used it to try to understand an error message?
No.
It'll sit there and say, I don't know, like, array off. You get the error message about an array offset, right? And it'll just like explain the error message the same way the error message is written out. I'm like, no, I fucking know that. That's what the fucking error message said. What does it mean?
I mean, that's the problem, is the error could be from so many different sources. I had an error today that I was working on for 3 hours. It was a test run that created an account and then logged into that account. And the password for the account was getting blanked out when you tried to log in. It would compare the hash to a blank, empty password field. Could not figure out what was happening. Turns out that the email column in the database was not unique, and I had that email address that I was using to test already in my database.
Isn't that so awesome to find
3
out?
hours.
Yeah. That's so nice.
I've
I've had that happen before.
So yeah, getting that kind of error and asking GPT what's going on, it's going to be like, I don't know, man. Have you thought about maybe you're dumb? Like, did you do the dumb first?
Yeah.
And this all brings up something this is an old concept, but it's a 2019 concept. Have you heard the term fully automated luxury communism?
Whoa, you threw me for a loop with that last word. No, I have not heard. I haven't heard that one.
So, like, communism conceptually is everyone reaps the profits of all of the work that everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a world where nothing was automated, made people upset because their work was equal to somebody who was barely working at all. Right? Farmers were paid the same as talk show hosts. And someone in that equation was upset about it. But the automation industry has gotten so big and so powerful now that the idea of replacing all of these jobs that nobody wants is starting to happen, but without the workers' consent. So that McDonald's employees are being replaced by robots or AI voices. And not making that up, there are fully automated McDonald's now. Just 0 employees. Coding is getting assisted by AI, and it will keep moving in that direction. And these jobs that are considered the entry-level jobs into the workforce for teenagers and stuff are kind of just disappearing or getting automated away.
Oh, interesting.
And the idea of this book that was written in 2019 was eventually we will reach a place where we will have fully automated luxury communism, where nobody will work unless they want to.
But I mean, wasn't that the same argument with computers in general? And wasn't that the same argument with?
Yeah, that was only 30 years ago that
assembly?
the argument was being made, though. And now it is happening. That was the argument with computers. It's computers that are doing it. And we're not even into the era of quantum computers, which can do this stuff even better. By the way, if you haven't seen Black Mirror, the new season of Black Mirror, episode 1, holy shit.
Oh, I'm trying to get through it. Wait,
Blew my mind.
episode 1? Why don't I remember episode 1 now?
Sarah is awful, something like that.
Yeah. Sarah's awful. Yeah. Huh. I don't remember it that well. I think I have to go. I'm only on like 3, so I might have to go back. It's one of those shows that I'll easily fall asleep watching.
Joan is awful. That's what it is.
Joan is awful. Okay.
I mean, it goes so many layers, but it deals with this concept of quantum computing and the way it's going to change things. And you think you know where it's going, and then it hits you in the head with a bat. You're just like, what the fuck just happened? It is so. Michael Cera shows up and basically like dumps the entire script and says like, oh, you guys don't get it. It's just like, what the hell? Unreal.
I totally don't remember. I don't remember that now. I don't remember how it ended at all. I don't remember what the last thing was I remember seeing. So yeah, I'll have to go back.
It's on par with like the first time you watch The Matrix, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's
Black Mirror is good. That was a surprise. Like the first season, I was like, wait, I thought it was going to be kind of what was that other one called? Love and Robots or something, where I like had this high hope, this high expectation for it. Yeah. And I started watching it. I was like, what? Okay, right. You're just. I think I thought it was going to be something else, but
you thought it was a porn.
Yeah, maybe a porn about AI. But yeah, Black Mirror was just the opposite. I had no expectation of Black Mirror, and I started watching. I'm like, wait, what? The one I don't remember the title of it because I wasn't paying that close of attention to it when I was watching it. But the one that was basically social media and
social credit.
Was that what it was? And the amount of followers you had really kind of define your status in society.
Right.
And
so
this person started tail spinning. Yeah.
And that was one of my least favorite ones.
Oh, but that was the one I'm like, we are so close to that today. Yeah. Like, we are so close to that. Yeah. Like, there are people who make a living off of nothing but being popular on social media. Like they have nothing they're contributing to society on any level. They're just they've somehow managed to be popular on social media, and
I don't think that is going to last very long.
It's already lasted too long.
Yeah, but it's the social media, the exposure of yourself that way is people are starting to realize the danger it puts them in.
I see. You're mixing it up with people with a conscience and have some sort of morality. Yeah, they sometimes surface in social media, but for the most part, no, nope,
Even
nope.
I mean, everyone has skeletons in their closet, and as these younger people start to realize that being famous means being investigated constantly by everybody, it turns into a problem.
I think everybody has this ambition of making a lot of money by not doing a lot of work on social media. But like a lot of things, once you understand the grind that you have to go through to get there, yeah, that's where a lot of people start to drop off. But I think there are just too many people in this world, unfortunately, who just don't have a moral compass and don't care, who will humiliate their own family to be liked on social media. And there's too many people like
Yeah,
that. It's just not going to. That's why I don't think it's going to go away. Until just don't. All right, that's it. I don't have to worry
so
about getting
one,
famous on
one
social
last
media.
one last
What?
little tiny bit. One of the AI things that I saw that I like is "What the Diff" by Marcel Pousseau.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you what the difference is between two branches via an AI interpretation. And I thought that was cool, and he's somebody that I follow, so I got a very interesting tweet from him 2 days ago where he announced that native PHP is coming. It's going to be announced at Laracon on the 20th.
That's the native PHP to write desktop applications, right?
I don't know. He hasn't announced what it is.
I think he might have, and he might have teased it in the past. I could be wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought I remember seeing something about that because we even had a discussion about writing uh, desktop applications in PHP, and John had mentioned he had done it before in the past. I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll find out. You say it's coming to Laracon. Laracon is next month, right? The 19th.
Yes. It's the 20th is the announcement, and there is speculation. It has something to do with Electron or Tori, which is native applications for iOS, Windows, stuff like that. So you might be able to write native applications in PHP soon, which would be
But
nice because I
what
absolutely
would you
hate.
want to? Good.
Well, I have a code base that is the iOS app and the Android app for my company, and they're totally different code. They're a totally different language, and they're a huge pain in the ass to maintain. We don't have enough people who are skilled in that area to keep it. It's a huge pain in the ass to keep up. And if we could just write a native iOS and Android app in native PHP, we would not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking of like native apps that I'd want. That I like looking at my desktop right now. I don't have any native apps. Everything I have, I might have a wrapper like Discord, but it's the same thing. The web and the app. Notion's kind of the same way. Slack is the same way. It's like these aren't native apps from my what I believe is a native app.
Yeah,
But
I use Rambox for a ton of stuff now. So
right,
I
and
don't, I
those
don't,
are just wrappers to a bunch of web interfaces, anyways.
right.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, I just
there is stuff that you do need to worry about, such as payment processing and
have a terminal. Have a
keyboard,
terminal open.
having the keyboard pop up correctly for native apps, biometric authentication, which is something we do. So it's a thing. Anyways,
Right.
as you said, that's it.
If you don't have your title suggestions in, do them now. do them now because we're wrapping up the show. I think that's it. We've had a long one. Nice hour, 30 minutes. I think we even started on time today, which is unusual for us. So cool, man. If you're watching the live stream, feel free to hang out. I don't know how much of an after show there's going to be since it's only been Tom and I talking this whole time anyhow. But you're more than welcome to hang out. If you have any questions, pop them into Discord and we will respond. And we will get our thumbnail intern working on something. Oh, current wife is still awake. Oh my goodness. And yeah, we'll get things going. She's I wish I was one of the people who could write books about, like, there was that guy who wrote the book All the Shit My Dad Says or something, or
Yes.
between my family chat and the chat I have with my Canadian friends on Slack, I've had some of the most hilarious conversations that I wish I had captured for prosperity in some form or fashion. But that's for another day.
GPT, have it make a book for you.
There you go. Maybe I'll need to do that. Rambox. Okay. I'll get to that after the show. Actually, I'll say it. Rambox, that sounds like something from P. Zinger! You're not too far off there, A Woods. Okay, that's it. Episode 341 is in the books. I am Eric.
I'm Tom.
Nobody? No?
Nope.
Okay. Keep it ugly. 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this.
Do you think Harry Mack ever regrets making that for us?
Probably.
Come on.
Oh, God, these guys are playing my goddamn song again.
He's so huge now.
Sevi, not yet. I promise. Sevi DM'd me something, so I promise I need to get the PHP tech stuff done, and I am going to dive into that. So, actually, do you want to, Sevi, do you want to talk about that? We can talk about that. You can get some more feedback from other people. There's probably other people. Mention it in Discord. I think you already did once before.
So the first time I ever heard of the fully automated luxury capitalism, I actually heard a different version of it, which I couldn't see the words without having to look it up. And it was fully automated gay luxury space communism.
Fully automated
gay.
Does it mean something? Does it spell something?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to spell. I'm trying to figure out what it spells.
It was just somebody who thought, hey, that idea sounds cool, but what if it were gay and in space? So they just added that to it, and now whenever I think about it, I can't not think about that version. Yeah, so like your NorCal kid was saying, this was one of those. This is what liberals want.
So anybody interested? Sevi has released a JSON library. I've been promising him I was going to do a deep dive of it. I already forked it.
It's been fully replaced by PHP 8.3.
I just realized your avatar is a dog. That is so cute. I don't know what I was looking at before. It definitely wasn't porn related, I'm sure. But yeah, very cute. Yeah. So give Sevi some love. Check out his PHP JSON utilities library. Well worth the check. All right. Also, if anybody's looking for developers, let me know. I've got a few friends out there looking for their next gig. And unfortunately, I do not have any room at the inn and PHP architect land, or I would be snatching them up myself. But let me know if anybody out there is looking for people, and I will try to match you up. Kevin, it is good to see you, man. I'm just catching up on the fact that you're even in Discord. I tell my family all the time, I am like the worst person with Discord during the show because I'm doing like so many other things. Like I scroll back, like when we do the outro, I start scrolling back to see who all's been talking to us in Discord.
Oh, hold on, I gotta find this package from Spotty.
Which one?
There was the one that allowed you to override read-only properties on a model for testing with reflection.
Okay.
Someone's asking for help in the Some Help Please channel. Oh, Sevi's asking for...
Why am I not seeing that?
What was it?
What's going on? Do I not see channels when it... Some help? Some help, please. Oh, there's all sorts of conversations going on in here. How come I'm not getting notifications of this? Interesting. Well, add that back to the channel list. What do you think the chances are? Would you ever consider using Discord for business purposes as like a replacement for Slack?
Never.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Okay, I need to shut down the bot to look at titles. So if you have title suggestions, you have 30 seconds to submit your title suggestions. And then I'm shutting down the bot. I need to rewrite the bot to like slow down A-Woods. Like make it so A-Woods can only submit one suggestion every 15 minutes. Why do we miss fucking Steve? I don't get that title. Did we talk about fucking Steve today? No, we didn't talk about fucking Steve. Are you just saying you miss him, A-Woods? Jeez. That's hurtful.
No. On the Discord note, I hate Discord.
Oh, really? Why do you hate it?
Because it advertises itself too much.
That's true.
It has some anti-patterns I don't like, where you can't prevent it from auto-starting with your computer unless you log into it. So you have to log in to get to the settings for the app. And it doesn't store its auto-start behavior in the way that Windows wants you to, which is intentional. And you know, it becomes so bloated.
Oh, I gotta get some music playing, man. I forgot about music.
Yeah, pretzel it.
Let's pretzel that bad boy up. Let me see if I can get it running. Oh, I can't run the freaking app. Did I tell you about this last week? If I run the Pretzel app, let me see if this is the case. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. All right, I don't know what I'm talking about. Unless this is actually a browser. So I have a app image of a Pretzel app. I don't know if that's what I just launched or not, or maybe it's a Flatpak. I don't know. Anyways, there's one version of Pretzel that I launch on my system that when I launch it, my T key doesn't work anymore. Like it's clearly some sort of mapping, and I can't figure it out. Let's see. What do we want to listen to here? We want to listen to. I always kind of go to the hip hop channel myself. I'm kind of a hip hop sort of guy. What else we got? We got something else, guys. What's something else besides hip hop? What else do we have here in Pretzel? We have chill pop. We have chiptune EDM. We can listen to some EDM. Let's see what they have here. I gotta.
Oh no, you gotta get some oh, electro bebop or electro punk or whatever it's called.
What? What is that?
I can't remember.
Yeah, that's helpful. All right, where is that's Spotify? I think this is it. Tell me if this is not music. I feel like that's gonna be music. Is that music?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I have something else to listen to. EDM. What's dubstep's dead? Dubstep. Yeah. I don't think we have dubstep on here.
Dubstep is awful.
I like dubstep. What are you talking about? That's a. Is that loud enough for you guys? Because it's super low for me.
That's
like I can
fine.
barely hear it. Okay. I can barely hear it, so I wasn't sure. Oh, this isn't working. I need something like pick me up a little bit. I gotta edit this podcast. I'm gonna go back to my hip hop. I mean, I gotta go to my hip hop.
Got a hippity hop.
So here's the problem I have with the hip hop channel. Is even if I tell it don't give me instrumentals, it still gives me instrumentals, and that's not hip hop. Yeah. Here we go. Oh. So, how things going in your end, though, man? How's the new puppy?
Puppy's good. He's very smart. He's definitely gonna train easier than my other dog. He knows roll over, which my other dog doesn't know. My adult dog.
This is some once in a century. My life is what it was meant. There ain't no
It's going pretty good. Teenagers are driving me a little crazy.
Oh, my current wife just pointed out that we're both labeled Eric on the stream.
Yeah, I know I did not enter Eric. I know I entered my name.
Yeah.
It's a constant restream issue. It does this all the time. I don't know why.
That would have been good to know an hour and a half ago. Was it like that the whole time?
Yeah. I had no way of changing it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
The 3 dots above your head. You change it right there.
What?
The 3 dots. The 3 dots. You know what a dot is, right?
Yeah, okay. So I just clicked on it. It says my name is Tom, and I hit save. And so it even knew my name. It just...
No, because I just changed it.
Yeah, whatever. Damn computers.
Damn computers. My wife did a thing. My wife just turned into like this closeted artist. She's tapped into an art skill I don't think she even realized she had.
Yeah, I have no artistic inclinations whatsoever.
Oh, I wish I did. Both my kids do. Both my kids are actually very, very artistic. I think they've I don't think they've ever had any sort of real training, which it's kind of like what they have in raw talent. I just couldn't imagine what would have happened had they done any sort of real training with it, because they just have that like
Just
they're
inherent
just
talent.
yeah, like just even being able to see colors correctly, and just they're really good. Now it'll diminish over time because they're not. I'm sure it's not a muscle they're continuing to exercise. But yeah, they were really they surprised me on a regular basis, both of them, with their art skills. And now, like I said, the current wife is learning some techniques with art. Like she made these paintings. I mean, they're just straight up paintings, and they look like something you would buy. Uh,
Right.
my plan is to kill her soon and hope that they go up in value.
It's a strong plan. I'm not against
Right?
like, you know,
I mean, it's my go-to plan for retirement
yeah.
when I'm ready to sell my share of PHP Architect.
Only to find out that you do not have a share in PHP Architect.
What?
Hmm?
I think that was like a confusion at
do.
Tech. I think that's confusion in general. Like what?
Everyone's
What
like, yeah,
are?
Eric, he works for John, right?
Yeah, very much that. Very much that. Yeah, that's something we don't. And part of it is probably my fault because I often say, I'm one of the team members at PHP Architect, or I'm one of the people who work for PHP Architect. I rarely talk about how I'm one of the owners, and that's not a shame thing. That's very much a PHP Architect is something that you know really probably belongs to the community more than anything else. They just don't contribute their share of taxes for it. But
Yeah.
that and that conversation was even brought up at Tech. That there was a talk very similar to that.
Which one?
So, was it? I think it was. Who did the opening keynote? I think it was the opening keynote that had it, because I made a joke of it in closing talks about how we needed to send a tax bill out to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that was the opening keynote. That was
Tim, right? Tim.
caretaker, not owner.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, and I feel that way. I mean, again, it's not a shame thing. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm actually very proud of the fact that PHP Architect now is the company. It's not a DBA as anything. It is the company, and I'm very proud of the fact that I'm one of the people who owns that company. I own it evenly. Like John and I are 50-50 partners in it. So that's but I I don't ever want to think that I don't ever want people to think that I'm not proud of that. It's just it's not relevant, right? When I'm talking to people, when I'm talking to user groups, or I'm talking to a group of people, the fact that I'm the owner of PHP Architect is a very irrelevant thing. And I think it actually carries more weight as somebody who works at PHP Architect or works on a member of the PHP Architect team, because I don't know. I just think I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. That's how I feel, though.
Yeah.
So, I have never been professionally more satisfied than I am right now, as far as like the company. I'm like, we've had more people work for us, and we've made a lot more money. Certain times, and hopefully we do it again. I'm not saying I don't want to make money. I definitely want to make money.
Money's
But
good.
it's like I just feel like we're in a position now to do things that I really want to do. Like I want to get training going. Like I want to get a training program going again, and we're in the perfect position for that. And I don't know. I'm loving my professional life. I've been loving my professional life like for the last probably the last 10 years. I mean, 5 years. Like the first half of Diego Dev, it wasn't a struggle so much as just anxiety every day. You know, just like you're just waiting for the bottom to drop out, you know.
Yeah.
And there was like you just kept learning about new ways you owe money to different things. Like all like new taxes you have to pay, and figure like, oh man, I never thought like political decisions would impact me financially as much as it has as a business owner. And the big one I'm talking about is when
Oh God, yeah, the insurance stuff when you had to take everyone on as a
yeah
employee.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a weird thing because John and I, we weren't arguing about it, but we had been going back and forth about it for years, where it's just like, okay, we should just bite the bullet and make everybody an employee. And like our accountant and our legal advice that we'd get at the time would basically say, no, don't do that. It's like there's no upside for you, and there's a lot of downside, so don't do that. So like when we were forced to do it because of the laws that got passed, we weren't like heartbroken about it, but man, it
which got immediately the laws that got passed, which got immediately cut to shreds
for the people who
it was initially intended to.
Yeah, exactly. The people, and nobody has revisited it, right? Nobody has come back and said, "Oh, hey, yeah, remember we were making these laws for these companies that didn't have to adhere to them? Maybe we should look back at the little guys that this really hurt."
It is so obnoxious.
No.
Yeah, it's the Uber law. Who's exempt from the Uber law? Uber
and Lyft. Yep.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like the first years of Diego Dev was just so stressful, and then then things start to kind of level out, and it's such a weird world to be in, because since we kind of have a product now with PHP Architect, and we should try to exploit that more and more by, like I said, doing training and stuff like that. But when we didn't have that, and everything was being done through consulting, like, which is still our big money maker, but like you wanted to take on more consulting gigs, but then you would get a nightmare client, and it would be like, oh my God, what a disaster this is. And you understand why even small companies have legal people, because, oh man, it's such a pain. We've been very fortunate to have a couple big clients that we like for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons you were able to do it in the first place, is that you had an in client.
Yeah. All right, I'm killing the bot here, people. I need titles. We need to figure out titles.
I like all the AI ones. I liked Chat Ugly or Ugly GPT.
I feel like that gets suggested every week now. Like some form of that gets.
Oh, fully automated luxury PHP.
That's not bad. Let me guess. A was.
No, me.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't. A was just said don't.
Box rammers.
toRawSQL finally. Ugly Jesus. I'm not hating that one. Interactive record. Rideout's Razor.
Yeah, Rideout's Razor.
Fully automated luxury. Communism. Mid-year error clones. Box rammers. Humiliation for profit. Fully automated.
I was talking to a coworker today, and we were talking about when to deploy this next change that I made. And I was like, I'm okay doing it on Friday because we're not going to have corporate users on the weekend and setting Monday and Tuesday. And he said, it's big enough. You might as well just push it off to Wednesday when you're back in the office. I said, yeah, that's true. Clients really are the worst part about doing any kind of software development. He said,
We had a yes.
He said, you know why God was able to create the heavens and the earth in 7 days? No existing user base.
I used to work for a company who we had the sales guy, and he was very one of these, like, he was a salesperson. I mean, he was 100% a sales guy, and he loved he loved he loved being a salesperson. That was always his biggest, like, line when we would complain. He's like, well, fuck it. He's like, we'll just get rid of all the customers, and then we won't have any overhead. How's that?
Yeah.
That'll work.
It's great.
It's like,
promise?
Genius. Rick, yeah, that guy was great. He had the best seats for the Padres.
Boy,
back when they were.
I have a hell of a story for you, but it has to go off air, unfortunately.
Okay, thumbnail creator, do you have a preference on titles, or do you need a title? Talk to me in Discord. NorCal Kid, do you need a title? NorCal Kid. Alright, I need to know if they need a title. I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to your mother that way. Oh, you asked twice for a title. Oh, you're talking to me that way. Oh, shit. Let's see. I kind of want to go with Sevi's, which is A Wood's last title suggestion, which seems always like a pretty solid, a solid pick. Bet. Yeah. Let's see. What does A Woods have this week? He's got LLGBT, Laravel for Livewire, Breaking Simper. I don't understand Don't A Woods. You might have to explain that one to me. Don't fear the repo. Oh, that actually is a good one. Don't fear the repo. Don't fear the Reaper. What
did we talk about repo stuff?
Did we talk about repo stuff?
Fuck, we didn't even talk about GitHub going down today.
We didn't, did we? We're terrible tech people. What is the Eric Clones one, Kevin? I didn't get that reference.
Yeah, I didn't get the reference.
Eric Clones, I don't get that reference.
I think fully automated luxury PHP.
I'm between.
Abe Woods doesn't get it this week.
I would say I'm between that and humiliation for profit, because it's just a good title. It's what we do every week. We humiliate ourselves for profit. Well, that's what we're missing. The profit piece of it. Damn it!
It only took us a few years to realize we've done this all wrong.
Oh, because Eric's name appeared twice. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. All right, we're down to humiliation for profit or fully automated luxury PHP. Put your votes in now. Oh wait, I just accidentally hit the return key. You still almost won with that one. Damn it! I just wanted to pick it. It was because I figured it meant something. All right. Decide between those two. I'm not going to tell you which one is which, although we've already said it a couple times. Humiliation for profit or fully automated luxury PHP.
Now, I've mentioned this on the podcast before, the Midjourney subreddit.
toRawSQL. I wouldn't mind getting that toRawSQL in there somewhere. I'm sorry, what did you say, Tom?
The Midjourney subreddit.
You've talked about it in the past.
Yeah, and it is... I mean, every time I'm like tired of AI stuff, something comes up on there, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it is so stunning.
All right, NorCal kid, nobody's voting, so you decide. It's either humiliation for profit or the other one, fully automated luxury PHP. Totally not famous vlog. That's actually not bad either. Okay, so your avatar's a dog. Oh, gosh. Funny people.
Here,
Funny
just-
people. Thanks, Oscar.
Look at this. Look at this gallery on Reddit.
Which one? Where'd you post?
Discord.
Okay. Is this AI generated?
Yeah.
Why do my AI generated images never look this good? What am I doing wrong?
These people, they create their own LLM. So they create their own database, language model database, and upload people into it. Or they'll upload like,
Are you sure these AI generated and just like aren't some sort of Photoshop deep fake sort of
Yeah.
situation?
yeah. So I can give you
Sure.
I can give you an example where it's like, oh, it's 100% got to be AI generated, but it looks totally real.
No, these look way. I mean, a couple of them, not so much, but these look way too real.
It depends on what you train the model on.
Hmm.
And these people have they'll create prompts for hours that match what they have taught the model to use.
Yeah, I told you I went down the whole rabbit hole on prompts, and man, I didn't realize the power of the prompt. My gosh,
It's a job now. It's already a profession. Is being an AI prompt author.
Yeah. See, I wish I could. I need to get my head around this enough where I could get it to generate images for articles. I would love to be able to have it trained on a model and then be able to feed it an article and say, okay, generate me relevant images for this model, because that's like becoming my new thing with the magazine. By the way, if you don't subscribe to the magazine, we need to talk about this more during the show.
Wow.
Okay, that might just be the title. That might be the.
That's it.
That's rude. But I think be a little bit more respectful to your elders. But I would. My new thing with the magazine, and if you don't subscribe, you should subscribe. PHParch.com. But we've been putting more and more images in the articles, and it's like I like it so much, but I want it to be like I start really getting picky where I want everything to be more relevant to the actual article. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I can only do so much with Canva and like making images look like they belong to that article.
Yeah.
I would love for AI just to do that for me.
You could do that just with prompts. Just have a set of prompts for stuff.
There you go. That's how you do voting. Good job. All right, in Discord, vote right now. Next person who posts something without voting, we'll be put in timeout. I see you typing, Buttery. I see you typing, A-Woods. You better hope you get that before you hit enter. I know there's a delay, but no excuses. So everybody has to vote before you type something.
God damn it.
What is that noise? Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this Deadpool one.
Yeah, so this is a reimagining superheroes and villains as if they were from 100 years ago.
Oh, I love this look. Like this is like almost steampunk, right? I mean, this Hulk is pretty good. That Hulk is pretty good.
Yeah, and the way that they do this stuff is they have a language model that just knows superheroes and just knows Victorian era style.
Yeah, it's very steampunk looking Captain America. There has to. Is this all Marvel? Where's my Batman at? There he
He's in
is, Batman. Oh, very steampunky.
Yeah, I think they got Batman wrong. I think the Hulk is the best looking one.
The Hulk is definitely the best looking one. What don't you like about Batman?
That wasn't his style. Even in the Batman noir stuff, he wasn't metal. He was leather.
That's true. Very true. I mean, it just looks like his helmet. Well, yeah, his shoulder pads. Yeah, good point. Spider-Man just looks like Spider-Man wearing a jacket. It doesn't look different.
Well, no, the Green Arrow just looks like Green Arrow. The end. It's just.
Who is? No, Green Arrow's the one with the top hat.
No, the one with the top hat is Gambit.
No, I don't think that's Gambit.
Yeah, it says his name at the bottom of the picture.
Oh, does it? Oh. No, it's Wolverine. It's Wolverine. The one I'm looking at is Wolverine.
Oh, there's another one.
Dr. Doom. Actually, that's a pretty good Dr. Doom. It's Cyclops, and he's got 2 eyes. That makes no sense.
Cyclops has 2 eyes. Cyclops
Well,
wears red sunglasses all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Joker looks decent.
The
Flash
Joker's interesting because it's just the
Green Arrow. You're totally right.
yeah, that's just Green Arrow. Like that's what he looks like.
No, Gambit. Yeah, Gambit's at the end there. I don't know. I'm okay with Batman. I'm okay with the Batman. I mean, the Wonder Woman. My goodness. Which again, it's just Wonder Woman wearing a cowboy hat, but
Yeah, and I mean, like this is what people are doing and showing off. But like, there's other stuff people aren't showing off on Reddit that is like, oh, that's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, imagine. Yeah, I think the Hulk is still the best one. You're right. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was worried that ChatGPT was going to replace, or Midjourney was going to replace real art, like real artists. And you heard what happened with the new Marvel series.
No, what? Oh, the opening scenes are all artists, or are all AI generated.
And like, people were like, and this is in the middle of the boycott and the strike, the writers' strike, and the SAG-AFTRA strikes. And they're like, yeah, we also replaced our graphic artist with an AI. And they're like, dude, come on. What?
But here's the thing about that, right? And I'm not saying it won't change, but it works because they're like the first ones really doing it. But like everybody's gonna get tired of that style really quick. Like if somebody doesn't.
But this is what I'm saying is that I saw the intro today. It looks like shit. And if you got one of these guys who's on Reddit making this stuff for fun to do it, you wouldn't know. It wouldn't be in that style. It would be in the style specified by designers. Like this, the way that this technology has advanced and people have learned to interact with it has moved so fast.
Okay, NorCal, voting has been concluded. You can do embarrassing ourselves for profit. But spell profit with PHP profit. Uppercase PHP, then lowercase profit.
Like here's a picture. Look at this.
What's that?
Who would would ever think that this wasn't just some like cosplay picture.
What are you posting?
I'm trying to copy it.
We
Stupid
have too many
Reddit.
chats, man, between the two of us.
So, who would see the
The
stormtroopers
lower
on the
decks.
beach?
Really? What is Star Trek The Lower Decks, Eddie Woods?
Oh, it's a terrible animated series. So, like, who would see any of these pictures and think that isn't just a guy in a costume in public?
Yeah.
Everyone would think that this is just a photo of a guy who has a stormtrooper outfit.
You know, it's weird. The
Oh, it
the
doesn't
more I
go
look
hold
at
a
this,
Sorry.
the more I look at this one, the woman at the one end seems out of place,
Yes.
but the stormtrooper at the very front is freaking me out, man. Like, I don't understand the autonomy of this stormtrooper in the chair that they're sitting in.
It's because there's two stormtroopers, and they're forming that illusion where you think that they've both got two legs, but both of them
No,
only
the,
have
one,
one.
the one at the very front that has the space between the two. He's only has one leg in the chair. He's sitting tangled
He's
inside
sitting
the chair.
tangled inside the chair, and he's holding a gun thing. He's holding a thing.
That one holding the phone is less wonky than the hands, which yeah. Actually, the one holding the phone, I assume is the one at the other end, also only has one leg.
So, the next evolution of this is they're working on getting it to generate 3D models.
Yeah, I can totally see that. This animated series in the Star Trek universe centered around the people who work on this ship instead of the bridge crew. That's funny. What was the name of that series? So there's actually a similar series, speaking of stormtroopers, there's a comic book of the two stormtroopers.
The Bad Batch?
Who is it?
The Bad Batch?
No. This is two people who are stormtroopers who are always at like the big things, like the big events, and like typically something they do clumsy causes like the Empire to lose or something like that. What the hell was that called? I used to have all those comics. It's funny. Comic.
You sure it's not the
comic of two stormtroopers? Troopers. Is it Bad Batch? Is that what it's called? No. Tag and Bink. Tag and Bink. That's what it is. I gotta go read these again. These used to crack me up. If you guys haven't, if you're into this sort of thing, this is a wiki page. There's a whole series about these two in Star Wars, and it's hysterical. How old are these things? 2001? Not that old. Oh, I guess it is that old now, huh? What are we in?
Yeah,
23?
that's 22 years.
Yeah. The Force of... Man, I don't even think I've seen all these. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
Oh, wait. No,
It's all right.
okay. These are... I thought this was... Well, this is talking about the appearances of Tag and Bink. I don't know if I've read all these. Anyways, read these. These things are hysterical. They are hysterical.
I had one of those. I had one of those comic subscriptions for your like phone or iPad.
Mm-hmm. Comitology or comic?
Yeah, Comixology.
Comixology. Amazon bought them. You know that, right?
Yeah. And I ditched it once I got 5 issues into a 10-issue series, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to buy the next 5."
Yeah, I used to try to.
I was like, well, then I'm not fucking buying anything, and I canceled my subscription.
I wonder if I still have mine. I haven't looked. I assume it all transferred over to Amazon, right? Let me see. I bet you I even have these in my digital. I don't even know how to use. Well, here you go. Right here. Holy God, I've got a lot. Yep, here it is. Tag and I have a couple of them here for sure. Star Wars Tag and Bink. I gotta read these again. We gotta add these. Wait, what? Is this not the comic? Is this just like some? What is this? Oh, yes, the comic. Yeah, I gotta read these. Oh, that's right. They were initially on Princess Leia's ship. I forgot about that. And then he disguised as stormtroopers to escape getting killed. Oh, God damn it. I've got to watch. I gotta reread these. Holy, I forgot how many comics I had in digital format.
Yeah.
Of course, they're mostly Batman. Batman. Lots of Batman. I have Watchmen here. Old Logan. Man, I gotta go through these. Read these things.
All right, I gotta sign off. Oh,
All right, brother.
I have to tell you the story, so you have to.
Okay, we're ending the stream. Thank you, everybody, for hanging
Thank you,
out
everybody.
with us. Bye.